But after years of watching Athens fight basically everyone else in Greece, Sparta finally decided to join the party. And by join the party, I mean they made the most Spartan entrance possible. In 458 BC, they sent an army led by a general named Nicomedes. But he wasn't exactly in charge. He was just babysitting for their underage king Pleistoanax. Because nothing quite says serious military campaign, quite like bringing a child king along. Their excuse for getting involved was pretty creative. You see, there was this tiny place called Doris that was having problems with Athens' ally Phocis. And since Doris was supposedly the homeland of all Dorians, and Spartans were Dorians, they just had to help, right? We must protect our ancestral homeland! Sir, have you ever been there? Well, no, but do you, know anyone from there? Look, we just need an excuse to fight Athens, okay? But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of just helping Doris, Nicomedes decided to take his army to Boeotia. Now, this might not sound exciting, but imagine if someone said they were going to help Florida and ended up in Texas. That's basically what happened. Meanwhile, in Athens, something sketchy was going on. A group of Athenians were secretly talking to Sparta, planning to betray their own city. Because apparently this war didn't have enough drama already. Hey, Sparta, want to overthrow our democracy? Hey, yeah, we thought you'd never ask. When Athens found out that a massive Spartan army was in Boeotia, they did what any reasonable city would do. They gathered every single soldier they could find and marched out to meet them. And I mean everyone. The two armies met at a place called Tanagra, where one of the most awkward moments in Greek history was about to happen. Remember Cimon, the guy Athens kicked out for being too pro-Spartan? Well, guess who showed up? Hey guys, I heard you were having a battle. Mind if I join? Cimon, we literally just banished you. Yeah, but I still love you guys. He's giving clingy. They told him to leave. But before going, Cimon asked his friends to prove their loyalty by fighting extra hard against Sparta, which is exactly what they did. And they all died. The battle was brutal, with heavy losses on both sides. But in the end, Sparta had won. Although calling it a win is kind of like saying you won a fight but lost all your teeth. It's technically true, but was it worth it? Yeah, we won! Woo! Now we can invade Athens. Actually, we're just going home. But we just got here. That's right. After all that buildup, after finally showing up and winning a major battle, the Spartans just went home. They marched all the way back across Isthmus, leaving everyone wondering what the point of all this was. But Athens? Athens wasn't done yet. You know how some fighters get beaten to a pulp and then immediately go on a winning streak as if they're just trying to prove a point? Well, that's exactly what Athens did after their defeat at Tanagra. See, the Athenians had this general named Myronides, and he was just about to become ancient Greece's MVP. Just 2 months after getting beaten by Sparta, he marched right back into Boeotia like nothing had happened. Didn't we just beat these guys? Yeah, maybe they didn't get the message. At the Battle of Enophita, Myronides didn't just win, he absolutely demolished the Boeotian army. And when I say demolished, I mean he conquered literally everything except for Thebes. Alright, what's next on the checklist? Well, sir, we've conquered Boeotia, taken over Phocis, grabbed Locris. Hey, great! What about all the rich people? Well, we took 100 of their wealthiest citizens as hostages. Ah, perfect. Nothing says we're the good guys, quite like kidnapping rich people. But wait, there's more! Remember Aegina, that island that thought it could stand up to Athens? Well, they were about to learn a harsh lesson about maritime superiority. Okay, fine, we surrender. What do you want? Oh, nothing much. I mean, just tear down your walls, give us all your ships, and pay us protection money forever. That's your idea of nothing much? Now, there's something you gotta understand about Athens at this point. They had just discovered that controlling Megara was basically like having a cheat code for ancient warfare. See, Megara was perfectly positioned between two seas, which means that Athens could move their ships over land and pop up wherever they wanted. It was like having a fast travel point, but in real life. Athens was so pumped about their winning streak that they decided to send their general Ptolemais on a victory lap around the Peloponnese. And by victory lap, I mean he sailed around burning everything he could find. He even attacked Sparta's naval base at Githium, which is kind of like poking a bear with a stick and then setting the stick on fire. Ah, they're burning our dockyards! Sir, should we do something? You know, Mark, normally we would, but apparently our entire army is still walking home from Tanagra. Athens was at its peak. They had walls that could withstand any attack, a navy that ruled the seas, and so many allies that they had to start tracking them in spreadsheets. But just when Athens thought they were unstoppable, the universe decided to hit them with the ancient equivalent of task failed successfully. Remember that massive expedition they sent to Egypt? You know, the one where they decided to fight the entire Persian Empire just for fun? Well, in 454 BC, after being trapped and besieged for 18 months, the Athenian forces in Egypt were absolutely obliterated. And when I say obliterated, I mean that they lost so many men and ships that they had to write the number down on a separate piece of papyrus just to process it. Sir, I have news about our Egyptian expedition. Great! Are we winning? Well, remember those 200 ships we sent? Yes. I hope you weren't too attached to them. But Athens wasn't about to let a little thing like catastrophic military disaster slow them down. Instead, they decided this was the perfect time to move the treasury of the Delian League from Delos to Athens. Don't worry, allies, we're just keeping it safe. In your own city. Yes, and we're also going to use some of it to build a giant statue of Athena, because, protection reasons. Things got even worse when Athens decided to help some guy named Orestes become the leader of Thessaly. The only problem? Well, they couldn't get past the Thessalian cavalry. Sir, their horses keep beating us! Have we tried asking the horses nicely to stop? No, we'll try that next. But the real everything falls apart moment came in 447 BC when Boeotia, whom Athens had been sitting on like an uncomfortable chair for years, finally had enough. At the Battle of Chaeronea, the Boeotians didn't just defeat the Athenians, they sent them running, just like you would run if you heard McDonald's had a 50% off everything coupon. Okay, no big deal, we just lost Boeotia. At least we still have... Sir, Euboea is revolting! Well, at least we still have Sir, Megara just revolted too! Oh my god! Can people please stop revolting for 5 minutes? I haven't even had my coffee yet. And just when Athens thought things couldn't get any worse, they got a message that Sparta was sending their army to invade Attica. Because, of course they were. But Athens had one last trick up their sleeve. And by trick, I mean bribery. Their leader, Pericles, basically just threw money at the Spartan king Pleistenox until he agreed to go home. Here's some for you, and you, and you. This is deeply humiliating, sir. Would another bag of money help with that? In the end, Athens managed to keep control of Euboea, but only after what historians call a very thorough punishment of the island. And by thorough punishment, I mean they kicked out all of the locals and replaced them with Athenians, which was basically their go-to move at this point. After years of fighting literally everyone they could find, Athens and Sparta finally decided to sit down and talk about peace. And by talk about peace, I mean they made a treaty that absolutely nobody thought would last. They called it the 30 Years Peace, which is kind of like naming your pet fish Forever. Ambitious, but probably not realistic. So, we agreed to stop fighting for 30 years? 30 whole years! The peace terms were pretty straightforward. Athens got to keep their naval empire and their protection racket. Delian League. Sparta got to remain the big daddy of land warfare, and everyone agreed to stop stealing each other's allies. But this wasn't really peace. This was just everyone catching their breath. The Spartans watched as Athens continued to grow richer and more powerful. The Athenians watched as Sparta's allies grew more and more resentful. And in the middle of it all, smaller cities were caught up in the fire, forced to pick sides. One day we'll put them in their place. But sir, didn't we just sign a peace treaty with them? a treaty that will last exactly as long as we need it to. The harsh reality was that Greece wasn't big enough for two superpowers. The First Peloponnesian War hadn't really solved anything. It had only set the stage for something much, much bigger. And in Athens, Pericles, the Athenian ruler, was already planning his next moves. The man who had brought Athens to unprecedented power and sent shockwaves through the Aegean Sea wasn't done yet. Far from it.